Hi, this is your weekly transformational forecast for the week of August 9th, 2021. I'm Veronica Lee, and the information I'm going to be bringing is pretty scattered, and I'll do my best to bring it in. The first thing I want to say is that there are a lot of energies that are just sort of bombarding us right now. So part of what you might be experiencing may feel like some kind of suppression or heaviness, like there's just so much coming in, confusion, trying to like sort out the different thoughts or possibilities or directions, to have that sense that something's coming, but not really clear about what that is. And I have spoken to that kind of energy, before through these forecasts, but it's as if, the rain is coming down, and we do need rain here in California, and we're trying to catch the raindrops. We've got a little, handful here and there, but they just seem to be slipping through our fingers. Energetically, we are doing some pretty heavy lifting in terms of really working to keep up with our spiritual evolution, with our, say, quantum leap. The beautiful thing is that there are a lot of people who are ready and willing to make those changes and to say, okay, what's possible? What's the next step? We are all individuals, and so what that next step for you might be very different than what that next step for somebody else. So it's not about right steps or who's getting somewhere faster. It's just recognizing that there's a lot moving, and we can start to move forward toward that. But what I will say is we have to have a sense of trust that no matter what steps I take, it's better than nothing, and that this is more or less an adventure, that the things that we are moving toward, because they are unfamiliar, because they are new for us, for each of us individually, that there needs to be a bit of patience about, let's say, accomplishment, right? We tend to be in a very accomplishment-oriented society, or pick something, stick with it, and only do that thing and do it well, and then, better yet, make a profit off it. This phase of moving is really about trying out new things, experimenting, play, and recognizing that when we are in play, there is no wrong to that. Obviously, if we hurt somebody, we're not supposed to smack our little playmates. But in terms of it's not a linear process. It's not a process of getting us somewhere that everybody else can approve of. Instead, when we are immersed in play, we are experiencing, we are trying, we are using our imaginations, and essentially playing. So holding that as the vision as you move forward will help sort of guide you in the direction. The other thing about play is that you fully kind of take it in with this, presence, right? That as soon as we pop out of presence, then we're no longer immersed in the experience of playfulness. Instead, we might be judging ourselves for, what are you doing? That's kind of silly, or that's not how you do it. And then suddenly the critical mind comes in. But it's best tapped into when we can drop into being present in that playfulness and letting go of, in some regards, expectation, right? And letting that imaginative force and higher wisdom in some way come through us. Let's see if there's anything else. So just so much coming in. So because there's so much coming in, you kind of want to make sure that you're not taking on too much. So if you are going to experiment and experience and play, then don't turn it into a project. You're not a project. Just say, oh, here's what I'm feeling compelled to do and would like to try and play with for now. And then that comes to closure, and then you can try something else. But don't turn it into a schedule of on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm going to go play basketball and I'm going to make this happen. Just try to stay in that more organic flow of things, and giving yourself time to sort of absorb and soften and relax, but not in a place of go, getting accomplished. We're really trying to unhook from that. COVID was a great, let's say, jumpstart of us, let's say, unplugging. And now it's really sort of self-monitoring time to say, okay, do I think getting back to normal is just pushing full force and expecting so much of myself? Or am I going to ease into a more balanced way of integrating this work and play and getting things done and not getting things done, elements, bringing it all together with some balance and some grace? And let's see if there's anything else. There's, like I said, so much coming in. The other piece has a lot to do. I didn't mention this at the beginning, and I won't go into a lot of detail. My family did have to evacuate. We had experienced the river fire very close to our home, was, got the evacuation order. We were out really quickly, and then it was lifted a couple of days ago, so that was good, and it's contained. But because of that, and not just here in California, but lots of places, there are places on fire. There's also been this, heavy, thick air and, the poor air quality and heavy lungs. But what I want to say to that is that there is an element of grief, and in essence, grief often touches in our lungs. So what you want to do is, regardless of whether or not you're in smoke, is to pay attention to any grief, any old stuff that's coming up, anything new that's shocking that has caused grief, and really be mindful of the lungs. And that's kind of enough. That's a lot of information for a short period of time. I also want to say that tomorrow, Tuesday, August 10th, I will be doing an interview. Somebody will be interviewing me on her healing connection on Zoom at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So I will be sending information out about that if you're on my email list. If you are not, you can sign up and maybe check around and see how you can find me to listen. And it's a free, interview. And I'm going to be talking about the leap into love consciousness, which is where we're heading. Okay, we'll see you next week.